On this episode of CityView, Racing to Help, how the city is assisting businesses prepare for F1. Contributing to a greener grid, how Austin Energy is breaking new ground, and efforts to keep endangered creatures thriving. Thanks for joining us. I'm your host, Renee Tejas. Those stories and more, but first, our top story. You can say that the trail around Lady Bird Lake will now come full circle. You see, for years, the trail did not connect to make a ring, but that will soon change. City officials and community partners gathered at the Ann and Roy Butler Hike and Bike Trail recently to launch the Boardwalk Trail completion project, filling a 1.1-mile trail gap around Lady Bird Lake.
Today is the project kickoff for Boardwalk Trail. This has been something that's been 6 years in the making. When we're finished, we're going to have a new 1.1 mile section that is going to finally connect the west side on the east side of the trail.
This will fix that gap in the trail and make it possible for people to go all the way around the lake without interacting with the kind of traffic you see out there on Riverside and 35.
When it's complete, the Boardwalk Trail will be partially over water, partially over land, and will create a critical transportation route for pedestrians, cyclists along this beautiful section of Lady Bird Lake.
The City of Austin helped in a number of ways. Their Public Works Department is the one that is the project lead for this. So they put together the design and engineering for it.
As you know, in 2010, voters approved a bond item, $14 million, going towards the completion of this project. But it would not have been possible without our partners at the Trail Foundation, who made a commitment to advocate for this and to raise $3 million on their own to help make this project a reality.
The Ann and Roy Butler Hike and Bike Trail sees over 1.5 million visits every year. That's up to 15,000 people a day using the trail and loving the trail.
People will actually have more room to spread out and enjoy the trail. It'll also be helpful to folks who live over here and use the trail over here. They'll actually have a much nicer route to get into downtown, and that's useful not just for recreation, but actually for transportation as well.
Construction for the trail completion project is estimated at 18 to 24 months, and when complete, the span will stretch along Lady Bird Lake's southeast shore, adding a vital connection to downtown Austin as well as new recreation opportunities for Austin's residents. And from those that race and run around the trail to the F1 race that's headed our way. Well, did you know that Formula One can be seen live or tape delayed in almost every country and territory around the world and attracts one of the largest global television audiences? And in just a few months, the 2012 F1 US Grand Prix race will be held here in Austin. To help businesses prepare for the November race, which is expected to bring as many as 300,000 visitors, city employees from the Economic Growth and Redevelopment Services Office were joined by community partners and volunteers on a walkabout to share key preparedness information with downtown businesses.
This is Melissa. We're with the City of Austin.
Nice to meet you, Tammy.
Tammy? Okay, we're doing an informational walking tour to inform our local businesses about the Formula One event that's coming up.
Oh, okay.
Actually, the first rollout was a survey that the city and its community partners sent out in June. And we asked the business owners and the retailers some basic questions of whether or not they knew about Formula One, what they wanted to know, and how they wanted to get that information. So since we got the survey results back, we put together a lot of different efforts, this walkabout being one of them, to get the word out about Formula One. What we're doing is we're passing out information about several pieces of things. One is we've developed a website, which is atxgrandprix.org.
Excellent.
So it's a very good website that'll tell you a lot of information as a business owner of what to expect, the number of people to expect, the timing, and then also importantly is we have 2 free workshops at the end of this month as far as like how to prepare for the Formula One event and the crowds of visitors.
Oh, okay.
We've got more information here about other workshops that we put on throughout the year.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's important for you as a business owner, so that way you know exactly what to expect that weekend.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The other efforts that we put forward, and one of the more significant ones, is the development of a website, which is atxgrandprix.org. And that's a website that we're utilizing to get all of this information out across the city.
The city will also host free business preparedness workshops August 22nd, 6 to 7:45 p.m. and the 28th, 8 to 9:45 a.m. For more information or to register for the workshop, visit the website on your screen. Austin Energy and Heliovolt, a local solar manufacturing company, are teaming up on the first commercial use installation of locally manufactured solar panels in Austin. And making the project even more likable is its bikeable connection. You see, the project will happen on the roof of the nonprofit Yellow Bike Project. The venture also is the first by Austin Energy to pilot and research leasing rooftop space at a nonprofit commercial location. Austin Energy will own the 12.4 kilowatt system that will deliver 16,125 kilowatt hours of electricity annually into the grid. Austin Energy is paying Austin's Yellow Bike project $350 a year for the leased rooftop space.
So this is the first rooftop lease Austin Energy has performed, and it is also the first installation utilizing locally manufactured solar modules. This pilot program is working well in the sense that we have created a solar lease contract that we have vetted with the legal team and with the solar teams, and it has been signed by the Yellow Bike project, and so everybody has deemed it acceptable, and we're looking at it as a pilot for potentially future projects and potentially future programs.
Austin Energy also has more than 40 city solar panel installations at libraries, recreation centers, and other facilities to help promote awareness of the benefits of clean, renewable energy from solar power in Austin. And from rooftop sun rays to council chamber days, it's time for our Council City Update.
After lengthy deliberation, the Austin City Council voted to include a $385 million bond package for Austinites to vote on this fall. The package includes funding for initiatives in transportation and mobility, open space, parks and recreation, affordable housing, libraries, museums and cultural arts, health and human services, and public safety. Each of those will appear as a different proposition on the ballot. In another item, Capital Metro transit stops will soon become more bike-friendly. The Council approved an item that allows the use of city funds by Capital Metro to create more bicycle parking at transit stops. A federal government grant provided the majority of the money to improve bicycle facilities at stops where riders most often arrive on bikes. The city will contribute $50,000 to create a 10% match of the $500,000 given to Capital Metro in grant funds. This money will also be used to construct fully enclosed cages at multiple Red Line Metro Rail stops and park and ride facilities. The popular Austin City Limits Music Festival may be expanding in the near future. The City Council approved a resolution encouraging the City Manager's Office to begin talks with C3 Presents, the company that produces ACL, about adding a second weekend to the event. The 10-year-old festival that occurs each fall at Zilker Park brings more than 70,000 patrons to each day of the event. The Council also set dates for public feedback on 2 key agenda items in the near future. On August 23rd, after 4 p.m., the public will have an opportunity to weigh in on the rate changes made by Austin Energy. The utility has proposed a fee change for the first time in nearly 18 years. On August 30th, after 10 a.m., the City Council wants to hear from you about the 2012-2013 fiscal year proposed budget. Both of these public hearings will be held in the City Council chambers at City Hall. In all, Council considered 84 items at its August 16th meeting. Its next regularly scheduled meeting is August 23rd. For CityView, I'm Bryce Benchavango.
Did you know that there are 8 endangered species that call Austin home and another 27 species of concern here in Austin? The Water Department has been tracking one of those endangered species, the Golden-Cheek Warbler. Here's a behind-the-scenes look into how biologists learn more about these unique, sometimes close to extinct, creatures.
So today we're here at the Balcones Canyon Land Preserve. The purpose of banding is so that we can keep track of all the males. We have high densities in here, and if we weren't banding, it's very difficult to separate the individuals out. So that as they move around, we get an idea of who each individual is. Each individual has a unique color combination that they wear the rest of their life, and that color combination stays with them as they venture down to Central America, but they come right back to that territory.
It's a challenge to find the nests. They're very cryptically colored and patterned. But when we find a female carrying material, we try to follow her, see if we can walk in. Sometimes it can take an hour or 2 hours. I've spent 4 hours. Shows up here pretty close and still failed to do it. She's very, very good at hiding it. The female builds her nest almost entirely of the bark of the ash juniper tree. In the past, we've had a researcher who has been able to put cameras on nests and was actually taken film of the nest contents, continuous filming of the nest contents, and she was able to catch certain predators.
View this entire video, tune to Channel 6 or go to the YouTube link on your screen. That's all for this edition of CityView. I'm your host, Renee Tejas. Our next episode premieres Friday, August 24th. Thanks for watching.